Okay, what's playing at the Opinion-Ville Cinematic Quadruplex?
Do I have to read all of them? It'll take an hour if I read every movie playing there.
I want to see something sexy.
That's all you ever want to see.
I know what I like. Bite me.
Is Bridge of Spies sexy?
Do you consider Tom Hanks sexy? Never mind.
I don't find everybody sexy, Jason.
So you don't think that Tom Hanks is a luscious slab of man candy?
Well, of course I do.
Well, I want to see something fun.
Well, what about Truth?
What's that about?
It says it's Dan Rather, CBS News, and George Bush Sr.
So the opposite of fun. Well, let me help you narrow down the selection, AJ. No foreign films, no documentaries, no cause films, no historical dramas, and nothing educational. If I wanted an education, I would have paid attention in school.
What about The Suffragette? It says here that it's playing in Dolby Surround 3D IMAX.
It sounds like something that I would hate. How many film criteria of mine does it meet? You only told us what you didn't want. What do you want? It's got to have at least one chiseled guy with his shirt off, at least one gunfight, or be about the Bible.
I don't think The Suffragette has any of those things.
Pass. Man, when will Hollywood finally make a movie that has all three of those things in it? A movie with naked man chests and gunfights with a biblical setting? Yeah, it's not like I'm asking for something ridiculous. All I want is a movie with a ripped Moses who lays down the laws of God with 2 tablets and a submachine gun.
How about The Martian?
Is it about a Martian? No, it's about Matt Damon needing to be rescued. Again. Does he need to be rescued from his heterosexuality?
No, he needs to be rescued from Mars.
I have it on good authority that the whole movie is based on the actual Mars landing we secretly made back in 1955.
Whose authority?
Mine.
Pass. Next movie, and it better be something fun and not boring. I am not interested in a movie called The Martian that doesn't have any Martians in it.
Okay, well, how about the Peanuts movie?
What am I, 6? Something for grown-ups, please.
Peanuts are for grown-ups.
No, it's not. It's about a bunch of kids with hydrocephalus and their clearly insane dog.
Peanuts is actually very deep. At its heart, it's about isolation and learning to cope with disappointment.
Oh, great. So it's for kids and it's secretly brainy. No.
Okay, then, how about Spectre?
Halloween is over. No scary movies. Spectre is the new James Bond movie. I knew that. Which Bond is it? Erudite Bosnan? Underappreciated Dalton? Kinda creepy Grandpa Roger Moore?
No, this one has Daniel Craig.
Done. Buy the tickets, AJ. Now, wait a minute. Maybe the rest of us don't want to watch a Bond movie.
I could think of worse things than spending 2 hours watching Daniel Craig get his Bond on.
And you know how much I love movies where spies uncover hidden plans to either destroy or take over the world.
So it's agreed. It's popcorn time. We have a date with Dreamy Daniel. You guys aren't all bored by the Bond tropes by now? I mean, it's been like a bajillion Bond movies and the same thing happens every time.
Yeah, you can always rely on old Jimmy Bond to come through with crazy villains and gadgets and explosions and hot girls.
Exactly. They should mix it up a little. Play with the genre, you know? No, people don't like different stuff. If you change stuff in the Bond movies, then it's not a Bond movie anymore.
So I take it if the next James Bond is played by Idris Elba, you won't go see it, Fundy?
I said I don't like change. I didn't say that I was crazy and blind. Idris Elba is hotter than the sun in summertime. I would watch Idris Elba pay his utility bills.
So are you gonna wait for Idris Elba to play James Bond before you see another Bond movie, Jason?
Maybe. I don't know. If the movie's good, then probably. But I mean, you know what would make me want to go see another James Bond movie? If it was called Star Wars? No. What if instead of just another dude playing James Bond, it was a woman?
You mean have the iconic spy, alcoholic, murderer, womanizer James Bond be played by a woman?
Yeah.
What, like a transgender James Bond?
Well, that could be cool too, but what I mean is that instead of James Bond, we have Jane Bond. James Bond can't be a woman.
Why not?
Because he's a dude. He's like the proto-dude. He's like dude squared.
He's not a historical figure, Fundy. He's fictional. I don't see why Bond couldn't be a woman.
But it would change the entire movie. What would a woman Bond do? Fly around to exotic locales, kill people, blow stuff up, and fool around with a bunch of scantily clad men?
Who said she'd have to be a heterosexual?
Now, wait a minute. Are you guys saying that you'd watch a movie where a lesbian James Bond flies around to exotic locales, kills people, and blows stuff up, and then fools around with a bunch of women? I would see that movie like 5 times. Fine. Well, since we're all just talking crazy, how about we just make James Bond an ocelot? How about that? Not a talking ocelot either, just a regular old ocelot named James Bond.
Would the ocelot save the world and bang hot babes?
No, he would just sit there being an ocelot while M tries to talk to him and get him to go on a mission.
Ooh, sounds avant-garde.
Like it's making a statement about the true nature of humankind's relationship to violence.
I am not being avant-garde. I just want to go to a movie where a smooth, powerful man does violent, questionable things in the name of world peace.
Questionable things are right. Bond definitely has some issues when it comes to women. And booze.
Maybe old school Bond, but the newer ones have gotten it a little bit better. I mean, they're no more offensive than any other movies out now.
Hey, I know! How about a Bond movie where he's married? And when he's out on assignment, whenever those seductive women try to put the moves on him, he's gotta turn them down!
Stop it! James Bond is not married!
I'll do you one better, AJ. How about a James Bond movie where James Bond is gay?
Now that's a movie.
Okay, everybody stop talking so I can process this.
Okay, process away.
James Bond, played by Idris Elba, flies around the world fighting evil, killing people, blowing stuff up, and scoring with super hot dudes.
Dudes with names like Chester Groingold.
Yeah, or like Pecs Rub Slap.
Or Johnny, really good looking.
Or Johnny Really Good Looking.
That's all I could come up with.
Who's to say that Bond isn't already gay? Maybe he's deep in denial and sleeps with all those women to prove to himself that he's straight.
Yeah, like James T. Kirk.
Okay, number 1, James T. Kirk doesn't sleep around as much as people think he did. And number 2, he can't... Oh man, we've had this argument before. You guys have really put me on a spot. I have insisted that changing James Bond is wrong. But the idea of a James Bond who could seduce the evil villain with his washboard abs and petulant smile is hitting me in all the right spots.
So you admit that changing an established fictional character is all right so long as it's entertaining?
Never! Do the so what do you guys think thing.
What do you guys think? Is it okay to experiment with fiction in order to produce a different kind of entertainment experience? Or should classic characters and tropes be left alone and be treated like some sort of cinematic tradition?
And if you do change the character, is it even the same character anymore? Or is it something different that allows you to explore different aspects of the genre the character is from?
Comment down in the Are You Freaking Kidding Me section.
As much as I like the idea of a gay James Bond, it'll never work.
Sure could. In fact, they could just start remaking all the films with that one little change. They wouldn't even have to change the names of most of the films or anything.
Yeah, but the titles sure would take on new meanings. Goldfinger, The Spy Who Loved Me, The Man with the Golden Gun,
Thunderball.
Well, what about Octopussy?
There's no reason why Bond couldn't be bisexual. You know what? Yeah. In fact, that makes the most sense. Then Bond could mac on practically everybody.
We bisexuals just don't sleep with everybody, you know.
We're talking about a bisexual with the libido of James Bond, Gary.
Point taken.
Hey, if James Bond was bi, then the first movie could be called The Bi Who Loved Me. Huh? No? Fuck you guys.
Oh, Trudeau here with even more suggestions for what you could have done instead of watching YouTube. Morgan Ravenwolf says, instead of watching YouTube, I could be working on my Halloween costume. If I dress as a goddess, do you think people would bring me offerings? I'm not picky. Candy, electronics, cash, drugs, cars. I would be an easily appeased deity. And if they don't appease me, I shall curse them appropriately, as any self-respecting goddess would do. Halloween costume? How old is this, Mabel? Oh, there'll be hell to pay. Oh, Morrigan, my love, I will smite the odious moron who delayed this missive. I will smite them good. Unless it's Oswald. Then I might just tell him how it bothered me, because while I'm angry, I'm not stupid. I've seen Oswald tear open a car like fresh bread to get out a bag of M&Ms.